Hey there, Assalamualaikum everybody. Welcome back for another amazing video. Today we're going to be talking about a very risk-averse type of investment, or I shouldn't say very, but very stable based investment in the stock market, which is halal, and it is for someone who really doesn't need to know a lot about stocks and if stocks are halal, which stock is not halal, which methods of technical and fundamental analysis are out there, charting and all that stuff. So without any further ado, let's get this video started. So today we're going to be going over halal ETFs. So ETFs are usually used in a way where a fund is created and a part of the fund is investing in certain assets. Usually, when we're talking about stock ETFs, then, there's only equities. So different stocks are within this fund and people can buy into this fund a portion of this fund, and pretty much it's like them owning a portion of this entire portfolio pre-made for them. And that's why if you're someone who doesn't want to learn, doesn't really care about doing trading, just wants to put their money in their savings somewhere safe and in a place where they can make return on investment and they know it's sharia compliant, this is one of the tools for them. Now, before I get started, I want to go over a few things within this video. This isn't financial advice and this isn't me saying these are guaranteed halal sharia compliant. What I'm saying is that known globally and respectfully, these funds are known to be sharia compliant because they do have a ulama board, they do have backings from the IOFI or some other method of sharia testing. Now, let's get this video started. So I'm going to be going over a few specific ETFs which are halal known, and then I'll do a compare contrast on a chart of on them, and then at the ending I'll do a small recommendation from my perspective on what I would do if I was putting my RSP, or if I would be putting my IRS money in, or I would be putting my long-term retirement plan money towards. So there's one that's known as SpUS, and SpUS is the SP Funds S&P 500 Sharia Industry Exclusion ETF. Pretty much from the S&P 500, they've taken whichever one stocks that are share compliant, did some analysis on them, and determined how much of this ETF fund is going to go towards those specific stocks. Now, for example, one of the I'll give you guys a little bit example on what SpUS currently holds. Second, so SpUS right now holds like Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, Google, Tesla, Exxon Mobil, Johnson Johnson, and many more. You can pretty much just open up SpUS on Google or Google Finance or TradingView or CoinMarketWatch or whatever, and they'll go into details about which ones are in there. So number 2 is HLAL. Kind of funny how they have HLAL like it's halal, right? And so HLAL is Wahid FTSE USA Sharia ETF. Wahid is a world respected investment, I would say, company from the US who has raised over $200 million, done fairly well for its investors. So for sure, check this one. I'll give you guys a little bit example of what HLAL has. So similar like SpUS, but a little bit different. And each one of these ETFs has a different vision behind it. Some of them are going to go heavier on tech, some are going to go heavier on oils, or some are going to go heavier on commodities, real estate and stuff like that. So you got to kind of know what is your preference. And I guess all of you guys care about the ending of this video, which is about how much return on investment would I make, right? How do I make money? Halal, amazing. How do I make money from it? But before we get to that part, it's about the education. So for example, HLAL has Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, Exxon, Johnson, Chevron, stuff like that, Procter & Gamble. And so they're also been performing decently well. So the next one is number 3 is SPRE, which is SP Funds S&P Global REIT Sharia ETF. And REIT ETFs are usually known to be linked with real estate investments. So for example, I'll just go over SPRE for you guys. SPRE has a few different real estate based investments, so public storage, Prologis, Crown Castle, Equity Residential, and multiple more. So you guys can check this out also. All right, let's go to the next one. Number 4 is WSHR, which is Wealthsimple Sharia World Equity Index. And Wealthsimple has been very well respected and accepted by your average, or you'll say your new generation of Canada, because Wealthsimple is like this really easy platform to use to invest in stocks and even crypto now. It's another way of saying Robinhood. So now here, I'll tell you guys a little bit more about what's in WSHR. So for example, they have Nestle, Thomson Reuters, Air Liquid, Meiji Holdings, Singapore Telecommunications. In regards to this one specifically, I'll do a full detailed video, inshallah, in the upcoming next few videos, because Wealthsimple has shown to be, sure compliant and stuff, but there needs to be a detailed discussion on this. So inshallah, check this out. So the next one is UMMA. Number 5 is Wahid's Dow Jones Islamic World ETF, which is called as UMMA, like Ummah, without the H. So, they kind of following the same format. HLAL, which is Halal, Ummah, which is like Ummah, and, they have an ETF in this. So, I'll just kind of go over a little bit more about what Ummah has. The goal behind Ummah is a little bit different than their other one. Ummah is focusing more on global stocks, and, they have different assets from all across the world within one ETF that you can get access to. Now, some of these are, for example, is ASML Holdings NV, Samsung Electronics, Tencent Holdings. You can look at Roche Holdings, Shopify. So, different ones. And I think it's a little bit more for people who are liking of volatility. Now, these are not the only ones. There are also some other ones that are out there and which are very well known and respected. For example, there's specific ones from Saudi. There's also one that's called ISDW. There's also one called ISDU, ISDE, SpSK, which is for Sukuk bonds. Sukuk is a halal version of bonds. So there's a lot of them out there, but I just kind of narrowed it down to the 5 that I want to talk about. Now, which ones do I recommend and what are their performance? All right, so you guys can see here on my screen, I have pretty much all of these guys narrowed out. I can also ask these ones to be in candles, but it doesn't really matter. You guys can pretty much see. I'll make it all lines so it's easier for you guys to understand. Boom. So here you can see HLAL, SpUS, SPRE, and Ummah, and this is pretty much their performance in a 5-year mark. I think I clicked the 5 mark. Yeah. So now what you guys are seeing is this in the regards of the percentages that they've increased from the 5-year mark. Now, if you're someone who's looking for long-term investment, then obviously you want to be looking at something that's going to be performing, over 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years. And so you are looking for a long-term investment hold. And it seems like, looking at this investments, that HLAL and SpUS is the right one. Now, I just want to do one more thing here is I want to actually add the S&P 500 so you guys can see the difference between S&P 500 and the ones that are already on here. So you guys can see here that HLAL and SpUS, our halal indexes, perform better than the S&P 500, which is known as the global, mainly actually American index. Now, one more thing I want to add here is that this is already proven that the halal stocks outperform the other stocks, and this is because a stock to be halal, sharia compliant, it has to go through a vigorous process of looking at the cash flow statements, looking at whether the business setup is it and what is it actually a part of. We'll have multiple stocks which are outside of sharia compliance, which have done maybe 1,000% more, but usually they could have some links to things like entertainment, alcohol. You guys know the rest, so they're not halal. So here you guys can see if there's something that you're looking for long-term investment, this might be the one that you're looking for, which is HLAL, SpUS. Now, it could be also that because these funds are more newer, they're not performing as well. And also, we have to kind of give them the benefit of the doubt that, look, man, these guys started in COVID times. You guys can see here already 2021, which is also COVID time, 2022, which is also COVID time. So it's not the best thing. Let's look at this from a 1-year perspective. And you can see here that, relatively speaking, you can see here now Ummah is doing better because in the recent times it's outperformed in the sense that it hasn't gone down as much other ETFs have because of the COVID crash. This is something I want to show you guys, introduce you guys to halal indexes and ETFs, because there is a lot of you guys out there that don't want to be doing any analysis, don't care about it, and you guys just want to invest in something in the long run and something that is easier for you guys to just put in and forget for 10-20 years. Time to retire, you take out the money, 3x 4x due to how the market trades and now you can enjoy that fund your retirement easy. And if this is not for you, this is for somebody else, please share this with other people also, because this may benefit them. They might have a lot of money right now in their retirement package or their education package or their mutual funds which are not sharia compliant. Why let them make the haram income, and why will you want to make the haram income? Make it halal, invest in the right things. I hope you guys like this video. Take care of yourself. Assalamu alaikum.